Assalamualaikum and a very good day everyone. Today we will be presenting our study titled The Influence of Online Learning Technology on Academic Stress and Student Depression. With the rapid expansion of online learning in higher education, especially in recent years, students are experiencing new academic challenges, while online learning offers flexibility. It has also increased academic pressure and raised concerns regarding students' mental well-being. Therefore, the study focused on examining the relationship between online learning, academic stress, and student depression. For this study, we use a secondary dataset obtained from Kaggle. The dataset consists of 502 students' records with 11 attributes representing demographic, academic, lifestyle, and psychological factors. These attributes include variables such as age, gender, academic pressure, study satisfaction, sleep duration, dietary habits, financial stress, study hours, family history of mental illness, and suicidal thoughts. The target variable in this analysis is student in depression, which is classified as either yes or no. Before analysis, the dataset was pre-processed and transformed into a suitable format for analysis in WK data mining software. This allowed us to apply machine learning techniques to identify key patterns, relationships, and significant factors influencing academic stress and student depression.
In this section, I will explain the feature selection process used in our study as presented in section 4.3 of the report, which focus on identifying the most influential factors affecting a student depression. Feature selection was conducted to determine which attribute in the dataset contribute most significantly to student depression. This step is essential because eliminating irrelevant or less important attribute help to improve the efficiency, accuracy, and the adaptability of machine learning models. The analysis was carried out using a WK, applying the a priori model ranker together with two evaluation techniques, infogain attribute level and correlation attribute level. The dataset consists of 502 instances and 11 attributes to represent the demographic, academic, lifestyle, and psychological factors. First, I will refer to figure 3, which show the feature ranking result obtained using infogram attribute level. This method measures how much information each attribute contribute toward predicting the class variable, which is depression. In general, a higher information gain value indicates a stronger predictive power. Based on the WK output, the attribute "Have you ever had suicidal thoughts?" recorded the highest information gain value of 0.1611, making it the most informative predictor of the student depression. This result clearly demonstrates a strong relationship between depressive symptoms and suicidal ideation among students. The second most influential attribute is academic pressure, with a value of 0.085853. This finding indicates that academic demands and performance expectations significantly affect a student's mental health, supporting the view that academic overload is a major contributor to depression. A financial stress with an information gain of 0.061832 ranks third. This highlights the impact of financial difficulties on student psychological well-being and shows that economic pressure is another important factor associated with a depression. Attributes such as study satisfaction 0.05776 and study hours 0.031987 shows a moderate of level of influence. Reduced satisfaction with studies and increased study hours can indirectly increase stress level, which may contribute to depressive symptoms. Lifestyle-related factors such as dietary habit 0.026208 and sleep duration 0.003182 recorded a lower information gain value. Although their influence is weaker, they remain relevant indicator of a student overall well-being. The lowest information gain value were observed for a demographic variable including age 0.01598, family history of a mental illness 0.00227, and gender 0.000724. This suggests that within the dataset, these factors are less influential compared to the academic and psychological stress-related attributes. For the second features, we apply correlation attribute level in WK together in the ranker search method to examine the strengths of the linear relationship between each attribute and the class variable, which is depression. This analysis was performed on 502 instances and 11 attributes, and the evaluation was carried out using all training data. Unlike the infogram, which measure information contribution, correlation attribute level focus on how strongly each attribute is correlated with depression. Based on the ranking result, the attribute "Have you ever had suicidal thoughts?" recorded in the highest correlation value of 0.4663, indicating a strong positive relationship with depression. This suggests that suicidal ideation is a key psychological indicator of depressive symptoms among students. The next most influential attribute are financial stress 0.2157, academic pressure 0.2058, and study satisfaction 0.2039. These results highlight that the academic and the financial challenge have a moderate but meaningful association with student depression. Attributes such as study hours and age show a weaker correlation, while a lifestyle like a dietary habit and a sleep duration had a relatively low correlation value, indicating a limited direct relationship with depression. Finally, gender and a family history of a mental illness recorded the lowest correlation score, suggesting that demographic factors are less influential compared to the psychological and academic stress related to variable in this dataset. Overall, the correlation attribute level result confirm that psychological, academic, and financial attribute are the most relevant factors, were therefore retained for subsequent predictive modeling.
In this slide, I will explain 3 classification models used to predict student depression. First, the 0R classifier is a very simple model that predicts only the majority class without considering any input attributes. Next, the Jerry classifier is a rule-based algorithm that generates decision rules from multiple attributes in the dataset. Lastly, the J48 decision tree models was evaluated using tenfold cross-validation. When comparing the models, clear performance difference can be observed. 0R with an accuracy of 50.20% performs similarly to random or majority guessing and cannot be used for meaningful predictions. However, it serves as a useful reference point. Both Jarib and J48 perform significantly better. Jarib achieved the highest accuracy of 80.48%, correctly classifying 404 instances, which shows that logical decision rules are effective in distinguishing students' depression levels. Similarly, J48 achieved an accuracy of 80.08%, correctly classifying 402 instances. Although its accuracy is slightly lower than Jarib, J48 offers better interpretability through decision tree visualizations, making it easier to understand the factors influencing students' mental health.
Next, I will explain the clustering analysis result. For the clustering phase, we applied the expectation maximization or AM algorithm in WEKA to identify natural grouping of students based on academic, financial, lifestyle, and psychological factors. Based on cross-validation, the AM algorithm formed 4 clusters after 20 iterations representing different student mental health profile. Cluster 0, which include about 33% of students experience high academic and financial stress, but show low level of depression, indicating possible resilience despite external pressure. Cluster 1 is the smallest group at 11%, mainly younger students with moderate academic pressure, good study satisfaction, and stable mental health, making them a low-risk group. Cluster 2, representing 39% of the dataset, is the most critical cluster. The students face high academic pressure, severe financial stress, poor sleep and dietary habits, and also high level of depression and suicidal ideation, indicating an urgent need for institutional intervention. Finally, Cluster 3, covering 17% of students, represent the healthiest profile with low stress, high satisfaction, healthy lifestyle, and minimal depression. Overall, the clustering results show that student mental health varies across profile, highlighting the need for the target mental health support, especially for students in Cluster 2.
Assalamualaikum Doctor, I am Nurwani. I explained the a priori analysis and the key pattern we found in our study on student depression. So, to find the strongest association between factors affecting student depression, we use a priori analysis. This method reveals meaningful pattern by generating rules based on minimum support and confidence threshold. We use minimum support 0.1, which is 50 instances, and minimum confidence 0.9 to make sure only strong and reliable rules are included. The dataset has 502 students and 11 variables including academic, financial, lifestyle, and psychological factors. Here, the WEKA output showing the generated rule and large item set, which grow from L1 equally to 30 to L4 equally to 64. This shows that depression is influenced by the combination of multiple factors, is not just only one. As we're looking at the rule, the stronger pattern are: number 1, high academic pressure plus low study satisfaction plus suicidal thought, which likely depressed in confidence 0.96. Number 2, high academic pressure plus suicidal thought plus financial stress, which likely depressed in confidence 0.95. And number 3, how academic pressure plus no suicidal thought, which unlikely depressed in confidence 0.98. This tells us that academic pressure and suicidal thought are the main contributor. Low study satisfaction and financial stress also increase the risk when combined with this factor. Lifestyle and background factors like dietary habit, study hour, or family history appear in some role, but they are less dominant compared to the academic and psychological factor. So, overall, a priori analysis confirmed that student depression is strongly linked into academic pressure, suicidal thought, study satisfaction, and financial stress. These patterns show how multiple factors interact and help us understand trend in student mental health. By knowing this, intervention can focus on the most impactful factors like academic support, mental health awareness, and study satisfaction improvement. That's all from me. I will now hand over to the next presenter.
In this section, I will explain the findings from the scatter plot analysis generated using the WECA. The discussion focused on the relationship between several psychosocial and lifestyle factors and depression among students. This analysis is illustrated through figure 9 to 12. For the figure 9 is depression level and suicidal thoughts. Let us begin with figure 9. Which illustrated the relationship between depression level on the x-axis and suicidal thoughts and the y-axis. On the scatter plot, blue dot represents students who reported no suicidal thoughts, while red dot represents those who reported having suicidal thoughts. The distribution of points show a clear pattern. Students with low depression score are mostly clustered in the blue group, whereas students with higher depression score are predominantly represented by red group. This pattern indicates a positive relationship between depression and suicidal thoughts. In other words, as the level of depression increases, the likelihood of experiencing suicidal ideation also increases. This finding suggests that depression is a strong predictor of suicidal thoughts among students. Figure 10 is sleep duration and academic pressure. Next, Figure 10 is presented the relationship between sleep duration on the x-axis and academic pressure on the y-axis, with color coding indicating depression status. The scatter plot shows that the blue dot representing non-depressed students are more prevalent among students who sleep 7 to 8 hours or more than 8 hours. This suggests that adequate sleep is associated with better mental well-being and improved learning capacity. In contrast, red dot indicating depressed students are more concentrated in the category of short sleep duration, especially when academic pressure is moderate to high. This pattern suggests that sleep deprivation, when combined with high academic demand, may increase the risk of depressive symptoms. Overall, this figure highlights sleep duration as a key factor influencing depression, while academic pressure acts as an additional stress that intensifies the negative effect of insufficient sleep. Moving on to figure 11 is study hours and the 3 habits. This scatter plot examines the relationship between study hours on the x-axis and the 3 habits on the y-axis. The plot shows that blue dots are mostly found in areas with moderate to high study hours combined with healthier dietary habits. This suggests that students who maintain balanced study routine and healthy eating patterns tend to experience better mental well-being. On the other hand, red dots are more frequently observed among students with low study hours and unhealthy dietary habits, indicating a higher likelihood of depression. This suggests that both insufficient academic engagement and poor diet contribute to negative mental health outcomes. These findings support existing literature, which indicate that higher diet quality is associated with lower level of depression, anxiety, and stress among student university. Figure 12, age and depression level. For the figure 12 is illustrate the relationship between age on the x-axis and depression level on the y-axis. Based on the scatter plot, younger students show a higher concentration of points at the upper end of the y-axis. Particularly, red dot indicating higher levels of depression. This suggests that depression is more prevalent among younger respondents in this data set. In contrast, middle-aged individuals display a more balanced description of depression level, while older individuals are more represented by blue dots at lower depression level. This pattern indicates that depression is decreased with age in this sample.
For this part of the analysis, we applied the decision tree classification technique using the J48 algorithm in WEKA. Decision tree are supervised learning models that classify data by creating a tree-like structure based on the most significant attributes. One of the main reasons J48 was selected is because it offers a good predictive accuracy while remaining easy to interpret. The objective of using the J48 decision tree was to predict whether a student is depressed based on several academic, psychological, and lifestyle-related attributes. In this model, variables such as suicidal thoughts, academic pressure, and financial stress were used as input attributes, while depression was treated as the target variable. Based on the generated tree, the most influential attribute appears at the root node, which is the question on whether students have ever experienced suicidal thoughts. This indicates that suicidal ideation is the strongest predictor of depression in this dataset. The tree further shows that when suicidal thoughts are combined with high academic pressure, the likelihood of depression increases significantly. In terms of performance, the J48 model achieved an accuracy of 80.08%, correctly classifying 402 out of 502 instances. Although its accuracy is slightly lower than JREAD, J48 was preferred for detailed analysis because its structure allows a clear explanation of how decisions are made. Overall, the decision tree analysis demonstrates that psychological and academic stress factors play a major role in student depression. The interpretability of the J48 model makes it especially useful for identifying at-risk students and supporting early intervention strategies in educational institutions.
Now, I'll move on to the conclusion of our study. In conclusion, this study demonstrates that online learning technology has a significant influence on academic stress and student depression. Using data mining and machine learning techniques in a WEKA on a dataset of 502 students, we found that psychological and academic-related factors are far more influential than demographic factors such as age and gender. Feature selection result consistently identified suicidal ideation and academic pressure and financial stress as the strongest predictor of depression. This finding was further supported by classification model where JREAD and J48 achieve high accuracy and by clustering analysis, which clearly reveal a high-risk student group experiencing multiple stresses simultaneously. Trend analysis also showed a clear relationship between depression and suicidal thought, sleep deprivation and academic pressure, and unhealthy lifestyle pattern. This confirmed that student depression is not caused by a single factor but rather by a complex interaction of academic, psychological, financial, and lifestyle factors.